Is it worth it to work with companies like Check Sammy and LoadUp? Today's video is going to be about doing business with these companies and whether it's something that you should do as a junk removal business owner, or perhaps in your market, some things that you can look out for when it comes to doing business with these companies. So this gets brought up from time to time on some of my calls, and I figured it'd be a valuable point to touch on with you guys in a video. Check Sammy and LoadUp. So the downside to dealing with companies like this is, number one, probably the most obvious part, is that they're a middleman, right? So they're going to get their cut of pay out of the job, get it over to you. And because of that, that means that you're typically going to get a lower cut or, value out of the job than you would have had you just done it yourself, because there's a middleman involved. But that doesn't always mean that these are horrible solutions for you to do business with. A lot of variables are at play to answer the question of whether they are a good fit for you or not. Some examples I can give you, though, are your market. So I have one client of mine. He does a lot of work with Check Sammy as well. And he's very happy with it because he's one of the only junk removal providers in this area. So he can essentially name a price and they pretty much have to honor that price to do that business with him because there's nobody else to go through. So it's either him or the job's not going to get done. So in his case, he has a lot of leverage with them. If you're in a really crowded market, I don't think a LoadUp or a Check Sammy is going to be very good for you because they're going to be able to just give that job to the person who will take the least. And you will always have somebody who's willing to do it for less than you are in those kind of markets. So if you're in those markets, the only way I would suggest a source of jobs like a Check Sammy or a LoadUp would be if you're really just starting out or really, really struggling and just need to get some jobs under your belt or some revenue. Because you're kind of in that position where you got to take whatever you can get. If you're not in that position though, and you're in a market with a lot of competition, I would advise against those sources because you're just not going to get the kind of value out of the job that you would had you had just been the person to do it yourself. You're paying that middleman. That's probably the biggest scenario of all. Really comes down to your competition. If you got a few competitors, you might still be able to make a Check Sammy or a LoadUp work because those competitors might not be working with them. But that's going to be the main difference, I think, for most of you. But if you're either starting out and you need some jobs and that's kind of a source for you, I'm not opposed to it to just get your feet wet in the business. But if you're established and you're in a crowded market, these just aren't going to be very good solutions for you unless you're able to negotiate with them and get the prices you're looking to get. I would not just take less for a job just to work with them unless I absolutely 100% needed that job and had some desperation. But that doesn't mean they're terrible resources. Again, if you're new, maybe if you're in a market like one of my clients where he's one of the only people, then it can actually be a pretty good resource because you either have the leverage or you're new and you just want to get those jobs. But typically they fall under the same umbrella to me as like a Thumbtack. I won't say Home Advisor, I think they're the worst out of the bunch for sure, but CraftJack, Thumbtack, LoadUp, Check Sammy, they're all kind of doing similar things. They're going to be the middleman. They're going to offer the job out to you. It's going to be for a little bit less than you would like, unless you have the leverage to get an exact cost that you're looking to get because they have no other provider in the area. So I hope this helps some of you who have looked into some of these solutions. It just depends on where you're located and where you're at in your business on whether these are going to be good fits for you or not. So I appreciate you guys for watching the video. Wanted to keep this one pretty brief. Not a whole lot to dive into with it, but I do get this question pretty often and I wanted to answer it. So thank you for watching. Appreciate you guys and look out for future videos with content related to junk removal and areas that I can help you guys grow your business. Thank you.